Good evening to you. Coming up on BBC London. Preparing for their last Christmas at home, the 150 South East London residents who've all been told they must leave in a mass eviction of their building.
Trying to make everything as normal as possible, but it's really not normal. And I kind of feel like I failed myself and my son.
I lose my home, I lose my business, I lose everything because it's all we have.
We'll have more on how the law is changing to protect renters. Also tonight, the Met Police finds out how much funding it'll get next year and says it means some tough choices ahead. What could it mean for Londoners? Plus, we visit a special garden of light and reflection, remembering those who can't be with us this Christmas. And
like the look on children's faces when they undo a present they're not expecting. It's the joy, it's the giving.
The charity spreading little festive miracles with some unexpected presents for kids. A very warm welcome to the programme. Thank you for joining us. First tonight, the building in South East London where all its residents have been told they must leave in a mass eviction. More than 150 people live in the block in Deptford. This month, they were all served a Section 21 notice, known as a no-fault eviction. The landlord says it needs to refurbish the building, but those living there have told us they feel shocked and fearful. Matt Graveling has this report.
The countdown to Christmas has begun.
Have yourself a merry
But while people across London decorate their home, some are also preparing to leave.
I feel very lost. I'm trying to make Christmas nice, trying to make everything as normal as possible, but it's really not normal. And I kind of feel like I failed myself and my son as well.
Nicole Carr is a single mum and has lived here for 2 years, but now her landlord is forcing her to leave. And it's not just Nicole, it's everyone in the entire block.
As soon as the letters started to trickle in, it was shock. My biggest worry is that this is just the beginning of a lot worse to happen to people a lot more vulnerable.
The landlord has said the premises must be empty for a multi-million-pound refurbishment, which could take up to 9 months. Now, this building is located at 82 to 84 Childers Street in Deptford. Now, in total, a Section 21 notice has been served to 83 flats. This is affecting around 150 people being forced to leave their homes. And they're not alone. The Ministry of Justice say that between July and September, around 8,500 households nationally were served with a similar notice. This is the highest in 8 years. A Section 21 order is also known as a no-fault eviction, where landlords can remove tenants without reason. There's concern a recent rise in their use is due to a government bill planning to ban them next year. But before this mass eviction takes place, a council-run drop-in centre was held in the building's cafe. Paolo is the manager and a tenant.
I lose my home, I lose my business, I lose everything because it's all we have. We work, we don't want to be rich, but we want to work to pay our bills.
We offered H Group, who own this building, a chance to be interviewed. And while they didn't respond to this, they did say tenants were asked to leave to allow the refurbishments to take place, adding everyone was given a minimum of 2 months' notice and nobody was asked to leave before Christmas.
As a council, we have 11,000 people on the housing waiting list. We have 3,000 households in temporary accommodation. We are fighting budgets every single year. This situation only makes that situation worse.
The government say their renters' rights bill will end Section 21s and introduce a transformative tenancy system while ensuring landlords have grounds for possession where there is a good reason to take properties back. But this was little comfort to those here, including Freya, who found out she was being evicted just hours after signing a contract.
I went through referencing, I signed the paperwork, transferred my deposit, and then the same day my new flatmate was served with an eviction notice. I've lived in London for like 10 years. I mean, it's always been hard, but I feel like it's never been this hard.
150 people in 83 flats, all receiving news of eviction in the month of Advent, each a different story behind every numbered door. Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Well, we heard there that there are plans to ban no-fault evictions next year. So what are the rules about renting and eviction, and how are they changing? Our housing reporter Tara Welsh has more on this.
The Renters' Rights Bill aims to prevent bidding wars and stop landlords from blocking would-be tenants who have children, pets or are on benefits. But one of the major changes will be a ban on so-called no-fault evictions. At the moment, most people living in privately rented homes have a fixed-term contract, whether it be for 6 or 12 months or rolling with no end date. A landlord can evict a tenant without giving a reason with just 2 months' notice under Section 21. Under planned new laws, though, new tenants will be given a 12-month protected period where they can't be evicted if the landlord wants to move in or sell up. After that period, there'll be need to be given 4 months' notice to leave. And there'll be protection for landlords too over things like rent arrears and criminal behaviour.
Tara Welsh there, and if you want to find out more about your rights, just head to the BBC News website. Plenty more to come this Tuesday evening, including...
Oh, the BBC got a goal!
Taking to the pitch for charity, we'll have a full match report from a football game with a difference. Now, today was the day the Metropolitan Police found out how much funding it'll have for the next year, and it wasn't the amount it was hoping for. In fact, the force says it would still need to make some tough choices and will be looking at how to reduce its services to live within its means. So what impact could that have on policing here in the capital? Our political correspondent, Carl Mercer, has more.
In happier times at a passing out parade for new officers at Hendon, but recent weeks have seen dire warnings from the Met's Commissioner about finances, after what he said was years of underfunding.
The Chancellor's been very clear it's a difficult public sector context. You add all those things together and you get a dramatic change in budgets, and of a scale that's never going to be absorbed by efficiencies and is going to require some pretty eye-watering cuts to the services we provide to London, and we're working through what those will be.
He'd warned that without more money from government, he may have to cut 2,300 officers. Today came the settlement from government. Instead of the £3.5 billion it got this year, the Met will get £3.7 billion next, a rise of £227 million. It includes the biggest rise in a decade in the special grant London gets for things like policing protests. In a statement this afternoon, the Met said they were grateful for the extra funding they had received, but they also went on to say the gap remains significant, and at this stage they say we believe we will still need to make the majority of tough choices that we have planned for. And that comes off the back of warnings, of course, from the Met Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley when he said there would need to be eye-watering cuts to London's police force. The Met statement speaks of the need for talks with the Mayor about how best to reduce services. So what did he, at a charity warehouse today, make of the new deal?
What we're seeing is the cumulative impact of 14 years' worth of austerity. And even
but you will have seen the statement today where they say we will still have to make significant cuts to policing in London, despite this settlement.
What the Commissioner has said, and it's really important we go to what the Commissioner said, is the cumulative impact of 14 years' worth of...
The Commissioner is saying he will now need to talk to the Mayor of London about how to reduce services for the Met and for Londoners.
Well, the Commissioner's not been in touch with me today. I'll look forward to working with him.
Well, let me read you his statement. He says, we must now work with the Mayor of London on how best to reduce our services so we live within our means.
Well, that's always the case. Any service we provide, the fire service, the police service, GLA services...
So when he says, and I quote from the Met statement, he says, we are grateful for the money, the gap remains significant, and at this stage we believe we will still need to make the majority of tough choices that we have planned for.
Oh, this time of year is always about making choices.
The Mayor and the Met will look to next spring's spending review for signs of more money from government. Carl Mercer, BBC London.
Let me bring you a roundup of some of the other stories making the headlines. The radio DJ Jordan North has been rescued from the Thames after trying to save a struggling dog from the water. The former Radio 1 presenter entered the water near Hammersmith Bridge but said he soon became panicky. Members of the public flagged down a crew from the RNLI and North and the dog were rescued in 3 minutes. Hundreds of workers from the Vauxhall factory in Luton have been protesting over plans to close down its van plant next year. 1,100 jobs are at risk. The Unite Union say they'll continue to protest tomorrow. Stellantis, which owns Vauxhall, says consultation is ongoing with the possible relocation of its UK production to Ellesmere Port in Cheshire. And more than 300,000 homes in London are at risk from surface water flooding. The analysis from the Environment Agency includes the impact of global warming for the first time. Friends of the Earth says more action is needed to help the country adapt to climate change. Next, the thorny issue of LTNs, or low traffic neighbourhoods. We see them in different areas right across the capital and they often divide opinion. Today, the High Court has allowed the removal of 3 low traffic neighbourhoods from Tower Hamlets, with the judge reiterating the case wasn't about the rights and wrongs of the scheme, as Layla Hayes explains.
Some people love them, others loathe them. Low traffic neighbourhoods, or LTNs, use barriers, bollards and road signs to reduce driver access while still allowing people to walk or cycle. But now the High Court has ruled that the Mayor of Tower Hamlets can lawfully remove 3 low traffic neighbourhoods in East London, despite a legal challenge by campaigners.
Those in favour of LTNs say they mean less traffic, less pollution and a healthier environment. But those against say the traffic simply moves elsewhere, causing congestion in other areas.
Lutfur Rahman, the Mayor of Tower Hamlets, says he was elected on the promise to get rid of LTNs and has welcomed today's ruling. In a statement, he said, while LTNs improve air quality in their immediate vicinity, the way they had been implemented in the borough previously pushed traffic down surrounding main roads. This led to complaints about traffic congestion increasing the air pollution on main roads.
It takes a while to see the benefits.
Campaigners say if the Mayor rips out the LTNs in Bethnal Green, it could cost taxpayers up to £2.5 million.
There are 4 schools on this street. We really need to protect the health of the people who live here. In other LTMs, maybe traffic has been pushed onto boundary roads. Maybe the air on the boundary roads is worse. But in this particular scheme, the air pollution is better inside the scheme and on the edges of the scheme. And we have virtually eliminated all road traffic accidents. So we really need to keep this for everyone's safety here.
The judge said the case was not about the rights and wrongs of low traffic neighbourhoods, but whether the decision to remove them was legal. But campaigners say they now plan to appeal. Layla Hayes, BBC London.
Martha Mills was just 13 years old when she died of sepsis after hospital failings in 2021. Following the inquest into her death, her mum campaigned for a scheme for families concerned about a loved one's care to be able to phone to request an urgent review. Today, she told the BBC that the Martha's Rule trial has already led to lives being saved, as Sophie Hutchinson reports.
It's more than 3 years since 13-year-old Martha Mills died of sepsis at King's College Hospital in London, where doctors failed to take emergency action to save her life, despite her parents' concerns. Since then, some hospitals have trialled an idea championed by her parents, known as Martha's Rule, an emergency phone line for worried families, and it's showing positive signs.
It's clear to me that if we implement Martha's Rule nationally, we can confidently say that it would greatly improve care, change the culture and save lives.
So how does Martha's Rule work? It provides a phone line for families to use to request a rapid review of treatment if they believe their loved one's condition is deteriorating. 143 hospital sites took part in the trial. In October and November this year, over 500 calls were made, with 50% meriting a critical care review and 1 in 8 leading to potentially life-saving changes in treatment.
As more and more wards start implementing Martha's Rule and more patients and families get that opportunity to pick up the phone if they're concerned, we're hoping to see the impact of this more broadly, and I'm optimistic that many patients and families will be helped through this scheme.
Pushing through this change has been exhausting at times, but on some level it has helped us both to see that people are prepared to learn from Martha's death and those mistakes.
The introduction of Martha's Rule represents one of the most important changes to patient care in recent years, according to NHS England. It says in the spring the scheme will be assessed again to see whether further tragedies like Martha's could be avoided if it was expanded to more hospitals. Sophie Hutchinson, BBC News.
Good to have you with us this evening. Still to come before 7.
Only 7 days to Christmas. The countdown has begun. What does the weather have in store? Join me later to find out.
Well, as we saw there with Corsa, Christmas is around the corner and London is lit up with festive lights. But take a look at these, because there's a rather beautiful corner of the capital where we're encouraged to light up the memories of those no longer with us. Our reporter, Aisha Baksh, is at the Ever After Garden in Grosvenor Square and can tell us more. Good evening, Aisha.
Good evening, Riz. We're not far from a very busy Oxford Street, and while, of course, Christmas for many is a joyful and happy time, if you've perhaps lost someone recently, or there is always someone special missing at Christmas time, it can be a really difficult experience. And this unique, beautiful garden grew out of that expression of grief. There are thousands of white illuminated roses. And if you look down onto the lawn, you can see that each one of them is dedicated to someone special. And the idea came from some very well-known designers and creators in our capital city. I'm delighted that one of them is here with me tonight. Anya Heimarch, thank you so much for being here this evening. Please, in your words, tell me, where did this idea come from?
Well, it came about actually from the need to celebrate those we'd lost at this time of year, which can often be quite a sort of poignant time of year. And I'm a very proud trustee of the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. And we felt also it might be a lovely way to raise funds where lots of people give a small amount, because you can actually, for £10, dedicate a rose with a little handwritten plaque, which is a lovely thing to do, to come here to the garden and to take that moment to celebrate someone that you've lost.
And Anya, it is obviously incredibly popular. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's actually really moving. It really is. People come in droves to the garden, big family groups as well. And you can either come and dedicate in person, or you can dedicate online. And we will handwrite a message for you and plant it in the garden as well. So it's pretty moving.
And thank you so much. I'm going to move over to another part of the garden now, because the money raised tonight will be going to the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity. I'm delighted to say that one of their lead oncologists is here with me. Dr. Chon, thanks a lot for being here tonight. What will that money do for the hospital?
It's incredibly important in terms of the donations and the money raised. I mean, behind this beautiful garden is deep meaning. The Royal Marsden Cancer Charity help the research that we undertake as a whole medical team, and we're able then to help patients both at our hospital, nationally and internationally. We're able to push the technologies to improve the precision of patient treatment.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Now, the garden is unfortunately closing tomorrow. It will be open from 3 till 9 o'clock at night. But if you still want to dedicate a rose to someone, you can do so online.
OK, Aisha from the Ever After Garden, which is looking serene and beautiful. Thank you. Well, as we heard there, it is a special time of the year for many people thinking of others in different ways. And in West London last night, there was a special football match to support those who might not have anywhere else to turn or stay this Christmas. I'll let our reporter Lauren Moore explain all.
The balls are out, the nets are up, and the players are warming up. This is a charity match with a bit of a difference. Politicians v journalists.
Including myself.
The politicians' side also managed to convince some former professional footballers to join their team.
I'm very familiar to this stadium, obviously, after being at Chelsea for 7 years, and it's a great cause, you know, obviously for rough sleeping and homelessness now. So I'm always up for a game, particularly for charity.
I'm a bit nervous, the fact I have to play against a former professional footballer.
Listen, I'm rusty, so don't be nervous at all. I have no idea what any Luca's going to turn up in terms of football, literally.
It was a hard-fought battle on the pitch, and all for a great cause.
10 people sleeping rough is horrendous. 3,000, 12,000 people is awful. And actually, there's a lot we can do just to really educate people, even locally, to understand that actually people are still really, in this current day in society, facing these challenges. And the concept came together of doing a football match, London versus homelessness. Hopefully that's the sweet spot of where football can really help to raise awareness of societal challenges.
James, call for it, James!
The Mayor has today announced £300,000 of funding for Crisis.
Everyone playing today is going to give up their time to do a shift at Crisis at Christmas. What Crisis do during the Christmas period is they bring people in from the streets. They'll be giving them a warm place, a wraparound care, medical care, other attention. Our donations raised and the money from City Hall will mean that people will stay not just for Christmas, but all the way until the end of January.
Lord, the BBC got a goal!
And in a tough game with 10 goals in it, one team came out on top with a score of 7-3 at full time. The journalists are the 2024 champions. Laura Moore, BBC London.
The team's still on a high from that win for a good cause. Talking of which, with Christmas only a week away, one charity in Romford says it's providing a little Christmas miracle for the children of families in need across London and Essex who may not receive a present. As you'll see, Smile, through its shoebox donations, can make a real difference to a child at this time of the year.
So this is girls 3 years to 6 years, boys for the same age. So they tend to have the same type of things, but we keep like the unicorns and princesses in the girls' side, and then the dinosaurs and the cars for the boys' side. These presents will go to over 26 family hostels across London and Essex, and these are temporary accommodations run by local authorities and other charities. The children in these families, they're really having a hard time as it is. Their parents are struggling to keep a roof over their head and food in their tummies. Oh, these little men, these are little stretching, like you slap them on things. We're in our hub in Romford and we are at the peak of our Christmas appeal. We believe that if we can provide a present for each child, they'll have that Christmas miracle. All the presents have all been donated by the community through local organisations and the local churches.
Currently encouraging parishioners to donate the Christmas gifts, which is they have a lovely simple slogan really, something to eat, something to wear and something to play with, and a child then getting that combination of gifts at Christmas time.
But every single box needs to be checked by our team.
Gifts come in, it's not always clear, the different age range of the child or the particular needs of the family. So it is important really that we're looking at each that's been given and to make sure then that when it's given out, it is really suitable for the child or family that are receiving.
I like helping out because I like the look on children's faces when they undo a present they're not expecting. It's the joy, it's the giving. It's nice because everyone comes together for Christmas for children, like they should.
Every year it's very hard for Smile to reach the numbers. Year on year we are always lacking in certain age groups. So that's why we need to have a pot of funds to purchase the extra presents. The best way to donate is that through our website, anyone in the community, locally or across the whole of the UK, can sponsor one of these boxes. It makes such a difference, but we can't do this without the community.
Oh, well, thank you to those of you who've donated and the charity and the volunteers, of course. Right, time for the weather, and we're going to scoot up to the roof and join Corsa, which must be a good sign, Corsa, as it means it's dry.
Unfortunately not, Riz. I can feel the rain falling already. So we do have rain on its way, and I'm sacrificing my hair for you right now, but it is falling. So if you are heading out just now, take your umbrella. But it doesn't take away from the scene behind me. Look at this beautiful church, All Souls Church, lit up and wrapped like a Christmas present. And of course, the sparkly lights along Regent Street with all the shoppers out in force. And can you believe there's only 7 days left until Christmas? So of course, you'll want to know the forecast if you've got some last minute shopping. So let's look at the details now. And well, we can see cloud thickening and arriving in. So there will be more unsettled weather, I'm afraid, over the next few days. Some wet and windy weather arriving our way overnight tonight and again tomorrow night. But the good news is they're overnight features. So we are seeing that cloud thickening, spreading in this evening. And it's going to bring some outbreaks of rain, some very strong winds, especially by the early hours. There could be gusts quite widely of 40 to 45 miles per hour. And temperatures overnight will hold up at around 8 to 10 Celsius. And there may just be some clearer spells. So for tomorrow then, it's an improving story. Still quite cloudy out there, but we are going to see some brighter spells developing. There will still be some showers and it does remain windy, but it's mild. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon, 14, 15 Celsius. The average is around 8 degrees just now. And then looking ahead to tomorrow night, we've got a more significant system arriving our way, bringing with it outbreaks of rain that will be heavy at times and some very strong winds as well. But for the time being, well, temperatures 15 Celsius on Wednesday afternoon. As that system arrives through, wet and windy weather, once that clears through, well, we're going to start to see conditions improving. So it will be mild Wednesday and then some very heavy rain arriving in overnight Wednesday. Now, there will be some strong winds again. So Wednesday night, we could see gusts quite widely of 40, 45 miles per hour. And that rain could be quite heavy in places as well. But it will continue to clear. And as it does clear through, the wind direction becomes more of a northwesterly. And we're drawing in much colder air all the way from the northwest. So temperatures by Thursday will become colder by day and by Thursday night as well. So Thursday's a drier day, a brighter day. There'll be some spells of sunshine around as well, and temperatures only 6 to 8 degrees. And Thursday night will be the coldest night of the week, so it will be quite chilly. Now, looking ahead then, well, Friday, we are expecting some dry weather to start the day, but it will become more unsettled once again, and into the weekend as well. More unsettled on Saturday with a chance of some showers. Sunday at the moment does look like it will be the drier day with some sunshine. So really up and down weather, but at least during the daytimes there should be some good shopping weather, Riz.
Come back inside, Corsa. Thank you very much. And that is where we leave you this Tuesday. More stories on our website and social media, of course, where, if you missed it, you can also see the South London primary school children who've written and recorded their very own Christmas single, hoping, of course, for a festive hit. Well, the race for number one, should I say, is definitely on. From me and all the team here, thanks very much for watching and enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.